What's up, guys? Chris the Chef Sports Cards here. Welcome to a hopefully relaxing Sunday for everyone. Back to the grind tomorrow for many. Sorry. It's always grind for me every day. Actually, I was at my son had a vintage clothing show today. Man, the kid killed it. It was crazy. My 17-year-old son made like $3,500 at a show today. I'm doing things wrong in this world. Anyway, welcome. Glad you guys could join us, especially for anybody who's new to the channel. Welcome. A little bit about us. We've been around for 5 years now. We break mostly baseball, a little bit of everything else mixed in. Next week's going to be weird. We're going to have a lot of other stuff mixed in next week. We're actually really going to have a lot of other stuff mixed in. We're going to have basketball, football, NASCAR, and I think a soccer break on top of our baseball next week. So it should be fun. It'll be interesting. We ship all cards from every break. We're very generous with the top loading. We ship as quickly as we can. Super quickly. Although we got a lot of cards from this weekend stuff. But I do have my sorter back. Mic is scratching. Okay, hold on a second. Yeah, every once in a while the microphone does this, but we can fix it. Let me check it, see what it sounds like. Do I sound robotic? Let's see. La da 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 da. Home. Let's go to my channel. Go live. Oh, come on now. Just bear with me for a minute. I'm loving it. Ah, yes, I hear it. Dr. Roboto. Alright, give me 1 sec. I'll fix it. I don't know why it does this every once in a while. It's really strange. Just like out of nowhere. Okay. I'm going to switch to a different microphone. Let's try this one and see if this one works. Okay, let's see if it's any better now. Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. Sorry, the feed's always a little bit like... Ah, there it is. Wonderful. Ah, there it is. Wonderful. All right, we're good. We are good. Yeah, close that. All right, back to it. So, as I was saying, if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. We do free breaks, and when we do them, we use our subscriber list from YouTube. We are just a few. Actually, I don't understand. Last night we were like 6 away, and then today it says we're like 20 away. I don't know what YouTube is doing, but we're just about to have a new free break coming up very soon. So subscribe to the channel, get a chance to get into it. And if you're publicly subscribed to the channel, as long as you stay subscribed, you'll be in every random we do from here until eternity. Or, you know, I fall over dead, one or the other. Make sure you're publicly subscribed or else you can't see your name. Publicly subscribed. And then the website, chefsportscards.com. We got some Bowman Jumbo over there. We got Top Series 2 over there. We also have a triple play box, which is awesome. It's a signed jersey, signed ball, signed 8x10 in that triple play box. It's $15 a spot, 25 spots in the break. I think we're down to like 16. We're about halfway full. And there's a 10% off coupon, so it's really like $13.50 a spot for a shot at that one. So, and we always give something away, always, with every break. So the next break we fill over there, we're going to give away a box of Absolute Blaster box. And then when we do a sellout, which means we already sold out Pristine, we already sold out Topps Platinum. When we sell out the Bowman and the Series 2, I don't really count the other one, we're going to give away a box of Clearly Authentic. So spots are super cheap, below cost. So go grab a spot today, get some cheap cards, maybe get a chance to win some boxes on top of it, and you will forever have my devoted love of your visiting my website. I appreciate it. All right, let's go over the teams. Braves, Brian R. Orioles, Tim P. Red Sox, Andrew E. Reds, Eric R. Guardians, Rich L. Tigers, Adam G. And Royals, Adam G. Astros, Brandon C. Angels, Daniel H. Dodgers, Brandon C. Brewers, John T. Twins, Ryan C. Marlins, Dave H. Mets, Stephen G. Yankees, Adam G. A's, Tim P. Phillies, Chris F. Pirates, Tom P. Cardinals, Rich L. Padres, Brandon J. Giants, Darren R. Mariners, Ryan C. Rays, Brad J. Rangers, Brandon C. Blue Jays, Chris F. And finally, Nationals, Brad J. All right, this is the end of this case, and hopefully the last case of Series 2 we see for a while. Although, I will say this. I think we're going to do a mixer next weekend, and there will be a box of this in there. But that doesn't really count because, you know, it's a mixer. It's different. Chrissy, what's up, bud? Yeah, I was at the ThriftCon show today. I went to see my son and his buddies who are big thrifters. Kid made a fortune. A fortune. He said he made $3,605 today selling $10 and $20 t-shirts that he found at. He goes, see, my son goes to Goodwill outlets. So not Goodwill, it's the outlets where they sell by the pound. So he literally pays like 80 cents for a t-shirt. And he's very good at finding vintage stuff. That's what it is all vintage. He has a website. He has like a big presence on Depop and all these things. And I watched him make a fortune today selling t-shirts of other people. Ozzie Smith All-Star. I mean, I get it, but at the same time, it's like when I was there, I had never been to one of these before. My son's done a few of them. And ThriftCon's a pretty big one. They do one here, they do one in New York, they do one in Houston, and I think one in LA. And I was shocked when I got there, man. There was a lot of people. And then so they did these t-shirts, right, for Philly ThriftCon, and they put all the businesses on the back that were there. So, of course, it's the first time my son's business was on anything. So, I'm proud. I went to buy a t-shirt. So my wife's like, oh, I want one too, because it said, my son's company is called Neurotic Vintage. It said Neurotic Vintage on the back with all the other companies. I mean, it's little, but still cool. Jed Lowry and Joe Musgrove, No Hit Club. But it was cool seeing his company name on there and stuff. So. And then my son was like, oh, can you get me one too? And I was like, yeah, sure, no problem. So I go up to the booth and I was like, yeah, can I get three of this shirt, blah, blah, blah. They were like freaking $55 a piece. I was like, oh my God, this is not a thrift. This is not thrifty at all. I was like, all right. I mean, it was a nice shirt, but still, it was a little, I felt like I was buying a concert t-shirt or something. It's a big show, man. I was like, wow, that's expensive. But it was cool. I should have made him pay. He's the one who made all the money today, not me. Tristan McKenzie generation now. Yeah, so I know I've been bringing it up, but I'm going to keep talking about those of you. If anybody out there's a NASCAR fan, we got Chronicles Racing this week, driver break on Saturday night. Those spots are going to post tomorrow. It's like 123 spots in the break, I think. So a lot of cool drivers in there. It'll be fun. Steven Ridings for the Yankees. And I have a thought that we're going to maybe try. So we're doing an 8-box half case of the Chronicles Racing. If it does well, I was thinking of trying this thing where, like, if you have a guy and you want to keep him for the next week, we'll do the other half case, then you'll just tell me you can pay through PayPal, and then I won't have to list him as a as an auction. Like I think we're going to give the option to keep your driver if you want to. So if any of your driving or NASCAR fans out there or specific driver fans, restaurant owners shutting down the restaurants and not telling their employees. Oh yeah, well, you know what, Nacho? I hate to say it. I was involved in that once. The problem, and you're right, it does suck. But I'll explain to you why. I mean, I'm sure you know why, but I'll explain for other people. If you let people know you're shutting your restaurant down, you lose all your employees. So, and I mean, it does. It is an absolute crap way to do it. Back in the 90s, I was the chef at this place called 16th Street Bar and Grill, a very famous restaurant in Philadelphia. And it became a place called Monk's Cafe, which is also very popular. It's been around for a long time. Well, nobody was made aware of it till the day before, because the problem is if you tell people, okay, next month we're becoming a new company or we're going out of business or blah, 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 they all quit. And then your last 3-4 weeks, you got nobody to work. And it does. I mean, I've literally seen it where people come in and, there's just a sign on the door. Oh, there you go. Nice Dylan Carlson short print. That picture's awesome. I don't think we got this one before. Base short print for the Cardinals. He's got the Cardinals tonight. Rich, man, I should have known. Rich has been hot all week. See, he goes to Virginia Beach and he gets hot. I have literally seen it where they don't tell anyone. People come to work and there's just a sign on the door that says, sorry, we're closed. You no longer work here. You're right. It sucks. But I also have done, know the reason why. So, yeah, it's not cool. And honestly, when you think about it, and look, as a business owner, I understand it even better, being a business owner for the last 15 years or so. But I'm sitting here thinking about it like, it's really a crappy way to go. It really is. Greg Maddox, All-Star. That is the loveliness of the business. It is crazy. You're right, man. It's crazy. But see, that's the problem. Everyone jumps ship, and then you're really in bad shape. If you're already going out of business, you're in bad shape. And if people are jumping ship, then your last month can get really out of control. Home Run Challenge Devers for the Red Sox. Andrew. Go, buddy. Now, if it happened to you, I'm very sorry, my friend. Believe me, I need people. If you're anywhere in the Philadelphia area and you need a job, I'm desperate for people. This is what's crazy. Let me tell you how crazy it is. I posted job listings 2.5, almost 3 weeks ago, Tatis 35th, for my cafe, and I have not gotten one single application or resume. Not one. Before the pandemic, if I posted for a job, I used to get thousands. I mean, it was like ridiculous, the amount I used to get. Because, and half of them had no kitchen experience, so it was like a complete waste of time anyway. It'd be like, dude, please have experience. But I can't find anybody to work. It is unbelievable. And Jared Kalenic for Seattle, 35th relic. It is crazy, man. I don't quite, maybe one of you guys could explain it to me, because I don't quite understand what people are living on now. Like, I understood during the pandemic, everybody was getting money from the government and unemployment and, checks and this and that. Like, but what are people living on now that they're not working? Like, and it's not even a fact, like, the amount of money, like, it's not even like how much I'm offering or anything. We're like well within standards, way higher than I used to pay. We're offering like $20 an hour. O'Neal Cruz rookie. But I don't know what people are living on now. I'm just like, wow. I was one of only 5 employees. Upstart Barbecue Restaurant B. We were always busy. They just renovated a brand new bar. Wow, that is kind of weird. A lot of time, I'll be honest with you, something like that, there must have been something going on behind the scenes. Either there were partners or somebody was stealing money or... Man, I've seen it all over the years, believe me. I've been in some crazy situations with restaurants. I worked in a restaurant when I was in my 20s that ran more cocaine through it than you can imagine. The guy used to come down... The general manager of the restaurant used to come down to the kitchen. I was the sous chef. This was right after I was out of culinary school. And he would come down and ask for a chinois. A chinois is there's a Mike Trout sweet shades. A chinois is a strainer, but it's like a cone. It's shaped like a cone. And they come in different fineness. Like there can be a regular one, like a regular like lettuce strainer that you use where it has big holes, or it can be like super, super fine. And I hadn't been working there but a couple of weeks. And the guy came down and was like, "Oh, I need a chinois." And I was like, "Okay, what kind?" He's like, "Oh, super fine, this and that." And he brought it back down, and the thing was covered in cocaine. He was breaking rock cocaine through the thing. I was like, "Oh my God." I also worked in another place where we had this drunk owner. Oh my God, this poor guy. He was such an alcoholic. I don't know what happened to him. Yandy Diaz, Rainbow. I honestly could sit on here for hours and tell you crazy kitchen restaurant stories, but this guy was a major drunk. And we had a very successful restaurant too, very successful. And he didn't work there or anything. He would just kind of stop in every day to pick up the deposit. And I was the chef, Brujon generation now, and there was this woman who was the general manager. Her name was Penny. This poor girl. I felt so bad for her. He would come pick up the deposit, and the deposit would be, now again, this was back in the early 90s, so a lot more cash than there is now. Deposit would be like $2,000-$3,000, and then the next day she'd check the bank, and only like $200 made it into the bank. Like the guy used to steal the money every day. And we were trying to run a restaurant, and basically we found out he was hanging at the bar betting horses and playing Keno and all that crap all day long. Like, and honestly, at first we didn't even know. Like, we were just running a restaurant, and I was like, wait a second, where's all the money? And this guy was robbing it blind. And then it ended up he wasn't paying his tax on the place. Max Scherzer for the Mets. So, and again, anybody who's from this area may remember this, but in the early 90s in Philadelphia, they started a city liquor tax, 10% city liquor tax, which was supposed to be a temporary, air quotes, temporary. And it all had to do with the fact that Philadelphia almost went bankrupt in the 80s when we had all kinds of nonsense going on in the 80s with the whole move thing when they blew up an entire block and all this stuff. So they needed to institute this 10% liquor tax to basically like save the city from going under. Colton Welker rookie to 2022. And it was supposed to be, we'll do this for a couple years, and this is how we'll get the city back, going. Well, needless to say, 35 plus years later, the 10% city liquor tax is still in place. But he wasn't paying his liquor tax. And the city started coming after him for it, and he wouldn't pay it, and he wouldn't pay it. And then they started sicking like the health department on us and stuff. Like every day, we had different people showing up, health department, L&I, looking for anything to like shut us down, Buster Posey all-star, because this dude was out drinking it all every day. I don't even know how he could drink and gamble away that much in like a local bar, but he did it. He was a mess. Oh. That's independent restaurants, man. I'd tell you, I did independents for like 10 years and had a great time doing it, but that's when I went to the steakhouses because I got so sick of dealing with people like that. Just some of the craziest stuff ever. I was a chef. God, I can do this all night. I was a chef at a restaurant in South Philly, a very famous restaurant in South Philly. It's not there anymore. It was sold maybe 10 years ago. Called Frederick's. It was right at Front and Catherine Street. And it was a mob hangout, very big mob hangout. And the guy who owned the place, Fred Vitti, salt of the earth, this guy was, but he knew everybody. Like, there used to be a guy, he's still around. He's not around here anymore, but Joey Merlino, I think he's still alive. He was the head of the mob in Philadelphia, and he used to eat in our restaurant all the time. And there was another gangster named John Stampa, who was they were fighting for control of the city. And Stampa put a contract out on Merlino's life. And Merlina was in our restaurant that night eating dinner. And our whole restaurant was windows, like on like three sides you could see from the street. And my owner was like, they're going to kill him. Like, they're going to drive by the restaurant and kill everybody. Stanton Sweet Shades. So we had to ask him to start coming into the kitchen to eat. So we'd have to put a table. Whenever he wanted to eat, we'd make a table for him in the kitchen, like next to the line. So you couldn't see him out the window. So somebody wanted to take a shot at him and kill all our customers. Like, that place was nuts. But they were fun, too. It was fun. Significant statistics, DeGrom to 299. 57 of 299. We had, jeez, I can't believe I'm telling some of these stories. Like I said, I could do this for a long time. 37 years in kitchens, I can tell some stories. The one and only time. So again, imagine this big restaurant and like think of it like a box, and there's like windows, 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 and then the kitchen's back here, but it's all, windows all the way around. So again, for anybody who's from this area or knows Jersey, there's a very famous strip club called Fantasy Show Bar in New Jersey. And the guy who owned it had, he was getting married. Again, this is 25 years ago or whatever. Ridings, Rookie, and Don Mattingly. It's the one and only time they ever put shades on the windows at Freddy's, because it was literally like 15 guys and basically like 100 prostitutes. This thing, it was like a Roman orgy. It was the craziest thing I ever saw in my life. Like my pastry chef Terrell, he used to come up and work on the line and then work in we had a pastry lab in the basement. And he went down there to start making desserts, and they were having sex on his board in the basement. He's like, what am I supposed to do? I was like, oh, I don't know. No hit club. They were all connected. That was the problem. You couldn't really yell at anyone. You just had to kind of throw your hands up and go, all right, whatever. But anyway, dude, I'm sorry to hear that happen to you. I hope you get to find something soon, or you got some good prospects out there for you. Kenley Jansen, again, with a little bit of damage on the bottom. I don't know what's going on with the foil cards lately. You can see it's not horrible, but, for the Dodgers, 15 of 299. We'll send you an empty pack if you want to try and get that. I mean, I know it's not worth much, the card, but you never know. You might want to try and get a new one. Anyway, those are just some of the stories from the world of Chef Christian. Some of those things I think about and think it was like another lifetime, Yes, especially if you guys were doing well, like that makes me think somebody was like stealing money or something. Which you would think it's not something that happens a lot, but it does all the time. Jonathan India Rainbow with the Rookie Cup, and Urias Generation Man. Yeah, so we were talking about cards earlier. We're going to have Select football next weekend, the big Select. I'm sure some of you have gotten into it already. It's mad expensive, crazy, but massive hits in there. High risk, high reward. So we will have some Select football next weekend, and some more Clearly Authentic, and all kinds of fun stuff. Matt Chapman, 35th. Yeah, Chris, you have some stories? Oh, I'm sure everybody has stories. I'll tell you what, like from a customer aspect, like customer stores, the nicer the place, the worse the customers were. Like when I worked in the steakhouses and stuff, Salvi for the Royals with a nice little bat relic in there. When I worked in the steakhouse, like, you're working in a place where, $7,500 a plate, this and that, you would think people would have a little class. It was like a college kegger in there every night, man. It was crazy. Like, I worked in, Fuddruckers that were nicer than that place was. Like, people were just, with money comes ego, I suppose you want to call it. If you know how many people like fall down drunk, we'd have to wrestle their keys away from them from driving home because you're like, they're going to kill somebody. It was just crazy. Freddie Freeman. We had a very big problem with people having sex in the bathrooms in that place, in the steakhouses. I don't know why. I don't know what it is about steakhouses that get people going, but this was something that happened on a very regular basis, and it was like, really? In the bathroom? I don't know. And Mitch Haniger for Seattle. Yeah, I really do want to know nowadays what people are living off of. I don't. Urias, we were talking about it at work the other day that we're flabbergasted that we can't get anybody to apply for a job. And I mean, especially a kitchen job that's Monday through Friday with no nights, no weekends. Like usually that's the big attraction, you know. It's lunch, breakfast and lunch cafe time. It's super simple. And usually people love the fact, but just nobody out there at work or no one cares to, I guess. Oh yeah, yeah. You have to get tip certified? The old tip certification. Have you done it before, or is this a new thing? I'm tip certified. Royals die cut. That's always fun when they're like have to teach them when you should cut people off and when you should. For Houston Urquidy to 2022. The old tip certification. Yeah, I have my tip certification. Serve safe, my county sanitation, my all that stuff. It's a nightmare. Well, most of it's all just a money grab anyway. Like when I was in culinary school back in the late '80s, um, we did sanitation certification called Serve Safe. A lot of people know what it is. It's very common, you know. And back then it wasn't even required. It was like a bonus if you had it, you know. But we had a sanitation class in college and stuff like that, and you got certified. And it was, like I said, back then it wasn't. Now it's everywhere has to have it, right? A Cunha All Star. But now it's by county, which is incredible to me. Like it's just a money grab. So you can, if you have your certification in Philadelphia and try to get a job in Delaware County, you have to get recertified in Delaware County for this of the same thing and a license there. And if you want to go to Montgomery County, you got to do the same thing there. It's like crazy. There is a Legends variation short print Tony Gwynn for the Padres for Brandon. Nice one. No, tip certification is smart, especially in a situation like where you work in a casino. I would imagine the drinking's real pretty heavy. I mean, the thing to me always is if the employers are paying for it. If the employers are paying for it, then by all means you should do it, whatever it is, whatever certification is, because those things are expensive. Like I'm a instructor for ServSafe. Like I can give the test and everything. I got it like 10 years ago or whatever. Um, and I mean, I think the last I saw, I haven't given anyone the test in a while. I used to do it at my own company, and that was it. Griffey All Star. It's like $185, I think, for the test now. And then if you need to take the class on top of it, I mean, you're talking like $400 or $500 to get ServSafe certified. That's insane. So, and I would always tell guys, like, if you have a company willing to do it for you, take it because it's crazy expensive for something that's basically common sense. I swear most people can pass the ServSafe test if they just take a few minutes and think about the questions. They're not that difficult. Was it? Yeah. Is he bunting? Yeah, it kind of looks like he is. I don't know. Either that or he was like pulling back from a bunt on a check swing or something. It's an interesting picture. O'Neal Cruz rookie. It's a good short print though. Mookie. Yeah, you get tip certified to learn when to cut people off so they can just curse at you. If you've never cut someone off in a bar, oh gosh, it's the worst. The people get so mad. They're so drunk and they get so mad at you, and you're like, dude, I'm trying to help you out here. You're either about to get your ass kicked by someone or you're about to die of alcohol poisoning. And they're like, yeah, up yours, mother. You're like, oh God. Gleyber Torres. I've had to kick more than a few people out of a bar. Yastrzemski, 35th over the years, and they don't appreciate that. And I've given the Heimlich maneuver about a dozen times in my life, and I've never been thanked by one of them, not once. Which just like, don't get me wrong, people are embarrassed when it happens. Obviously, they're choking, they're about to die. The big chef's got to come out of the back and toss you around like a rag doll, so you choke up whatever you're choking on. I get it, but like never even once did someone like the next day give me a call or send a note or be like, hey, thank you for saving my life. Okay. You have to take classes for human trafficking? Really? That's one I've never heard of. Really? Why? Wow. Is that is that a thing in casinos? Like, are they known for? Huh. I mean, I understand like, wow, human trafficking. What is that like? What do they do? Like, if somebody asks you for help, help them? Shane Bieber generation now. That'd be a bit of an odd class to take. The classes in Iowa? Huh. Is there well, I know there's a problem everywhere with human trafficking, but is there specifically a large problem in your area? We're rolling on short prints tonight. Casey Mize for Detroit. The base, yeah, base short print. Casey Mize for Detroit for Adam. There's a big problem in your area. Like I said, I know there's problems everywhere with it. I don't, but I would love to understand how to notice if someone is being trafficked. Wow, that's weird. It's especially weird because I've been watching The Handmaid's Tale lately. Man, that show is messed up. God almighty. That show is so messed up. I watched it when it first came on a couple years, 5 years ago or whatever. I watched the first season and I did like it, but for some reason I never got back to it again. And I'm coming to the end of my X-Files run. I've been doing the whole X-Files run, so I was like, I wish I watched. And my wife watches it. Bryce Harper All-Star. She's always going on about how good it is. So I was like, let me watch. I'll watch the first season again. Oh my God, man, that show is disturbing. Wow, that's crazy. I've never heard of that. We have, um, uh, what's the word I'm trying to think of? Mass shooting classes we take. What do you call it? Not mass shooting. Active shooter. I'm sorry. That's the word I'm thinking of. Active shooter classes we've had to take and give, which I always thought was kind of odd. Like, run for your life. Tyler O'Neill. That is really strange though. Juan Mearshall No Hit Club. Back when I was teaching at the restaurant school in Philadelphia, and to make extra money, I was teaching for a company called Sur La Table on a part-time basis. Some of you guys may know it. They're like in the mall. They do a lot of cooking classes and stuff. And we had this whole active shooter thing there. It was freaky, man. It was really freaky. I was like, I don't know if I want to work in this mall. Roberto Perez. 21 of 299. Yeah, that's. I'll tell you what. The mall where I did that, I only did it for about 6 months or so. King of Prussia Mall. It's massive. It's the largest retail mall in the world. Like Mall of America is bigger, but because they have the rides and all that stuff. But I don't really go near that place if I don't have to. I just feel like it's a target waiting to be hit by somebody. Some crazy idiot's gonna go in there. I'm like, I don't need to be there when it happens. Cabrian Hayes, Sweet Shades. My kindergarten will be starting her active training. Yeah, it is insane, right? So here's an interesting thing. My son, we were talking about this a few years ago with my son. I mean, he's had active shooter drills. Hey, what do we got here? For Cleveland, a little home field advantage. Rich, I should have known it, man. Rich has been hot all week. Home field advantage. Jose Ramirez for Rich. There you go, buddy. Like, it's crazy to think your kindergartner needs to do, but they do. But here's the weird thing, right? So when my son's about to start his senior year in high school, and I'll be the first to say that the high school he goes to is maybe not quite as secure as it should be. Like, I can think of a few doors you could go in through, but when my son was in middle school, the place was like a fortress. I mean, a fortress. There was one door you could go in. You had to go through a metal detector. Then you had to go through the office. And I never saw the inside of the middle school in the 3 years he went there. Like, I went there a few times to drop stuff off, but they weren't letting anybody in that place. Dalton Varsho, Rainbow. There's an O'Neill Cruz, 35th rookie. But one thing I'd ask my son was, when they do the actual drills for active shooter, I said, what does it sound like? Like, what's the drill? Is there an alarm? And he was like, no, they just come over the PA. So I said, wait a second. So there's not if there's a fire, someone pulls a fire alarm, the fire alarm goes off, makes whatever noise. I said, there's not a different alarm for like an active shooter or this or that. And he's like, no, I don't know if that's changed though. I hope it has, because that seemed really odd to me that somebody couldn't pull an alarm pretty much anywhere. I mean, I suppose you could pull the fire alarm, but... And a Buster Posey, 35th, for Darren. There you go, buddy. Like, it's scary to think your kindergartner has to do that, but the scary part is they do nowadays. They just do, And, you hope beyond hope that it's never necessary, but it's crappy that that's the type of world we live in, that we gotta, especially in this country, that we have to go through that, and our kids have to go through that. But I always thought to my wife, I was like, we should invent a different kind of alarm. We could make millions, active shooter alarm. Not that I'd look forward to making money off the back of something like that, but I just thought it was weird that you wouldn't have just like an alarm that could be pulled by a teacher or a student or whatever if need be. They're all creeps, man. They're all such creeps. There's this guy on YouTube who does documentaries, a British guy. I don't know his name, but he's done a bunch of documentaries on these different shooters. Juan Soto home run challenge for Washington for Brad. And not the shooting, but the person who did it. Their history, how they grew up, this, that, whatever. The sad part of it is the couple of them that I watched, these people should never, they should have been shut down long before any of this ever happened. These people had severe mental problems. Mike Trout, 35th. I watched one on the guy who shot up in Colorado, the movie theater. And he was just crazy. And he was in therapy, and they knew he was homicidal and this and that. And it's like, well, why didn't you people do something? These people didn't need to die. You just didn't want to pay attention to this guy, It's kind of scary in that sense that you're like, you guys watch this coming. you know. Bulletproof backpacks. Oh, jeez. That's scary, but at the same time, if my son were younger, I'd probably buy him one. I don't know. You just see the scary thing of it is like you kind of think Frank Robinson die cut, and I'm sure many of you on here think exactly the same. Like I think of my town, and I think like, could this happen in my town? And you want to say no, but then at the same time, anytime you see this happen somewhere, you always hear the same thing. I can't believe this happened in my town. It was the last place I expected, you know? And they have had a few incidents where they arrested kids who were planning things. I don't know if they were serious, but Logan Allen to 2022 for Cleveland. And it's, you want to sit there and think, well, we live in a good place, good people, this, that, whatever. None of that matters. You get one loon and forget about it. But your daughter's school doesn't allow them, really? Huh. Why wouldn't they allow them? You would think they'd be promoting something like that. That's like the guys after 9/11 who came up with the mini parachutes for people who worked in like office buildings and stuff like that in New York. Like, it's, you want to sit there and say, Willie Mays All-Star, like, you're cashing in on tragedy, but at the same time, you're like, man, if I'm on the 100th floor of a building, I want one of those things, like just in case. Schools are so crazy nowadays. I saw a guy, I was reading an article the other day. So I'm sure many of you are experiencing the same thing. Matt Carpenter to 71. It's a cool card. 14 of 71 on the Matt Carpenter for Rich. You live in rural Louisiana. Okay, fair enough. So my son's school is doing, and I'm sure many of you are doing the same. They're doing the first 10 days back to school is mandatory mask. And then after that, it's up to you if you want to wear it. And look, I just don't want to see people get sick. I don't really care about the whole mask thing. Like, I know some people get really angry about it and think, oh, it's infringing on our rights and this and that. Hey, man, if a mask makes you feel more safe, by all means do it. I'm fine with it. It doesn't bother me at all, Mark McGuire, All-Star. But some people, of course, are like so against it. And it's like, well, in a way, it's smart. I mean, you've had X hundreds of children out running around, going to family, friends, vacation. You don't know where any of them have been. Somebody could be sick. Somebody could not be sick. O'Neal Cruz rookie. So, okay, force them to wear a mask for the first week. And then after that, everybody's okay. And bing, bang, boom, on goes the school year. So I saw this guy on TV the other day whose son was starting back at school. And he was like a kindergartner. And it was the same thing. They asked, I think it was the first 5 days they were supposed to wear it. And of course, Dad had a problem with it, so he didn't send the kid with the mask to school. Acuna generation now. And it was a hot button topic for this gentleman. Let's say that. And like I said, I know it is for a lot of people. I'm in the middle of the fence on the whole thing. I mean, more power to you either way. So of course he doesn't send his kid in with it because he's pissed, and they kick the kid out, which. You asked them to follow a rule, but then they call the cops to escort the kindergartner out of the school. like people are so over the top these days. Like, you have to call the cops on a 4-year-old or a 5-year-old? Like, come on, dude. All you're doing is feeding this whole thing. It's crazy. Marcus Simeon, Texas, 35th. I just... Reminds me of that when I was in middle school. You couldn't have a notebook with a wire? Really? Why was that? What? They thought somebody was going to hurt someone with the wire? You guys are going to start garroting each other? Jeez. You must have gone to a tough school, Chris. It's going to turn into like mafia assassinations. Wow. That honestly is one I've never heard of. crazy. Yeah, I mean, people are, I don't know. I got this kind of vision in my head of, kids pulling out the wire and killing each other with them. Adonis Garcia green foil, 169 to 499. Wow. Look, I know some of these things are like hot button topics for people, and we don't talk about politics or religion or stuff like that around here. And to be honest, because I'm kind of a middle of the road guy, like you can, and I'm not trying to be wishy washy about anything, but you can give me your reason. I can go, yeah, that's a good reason. And then somebody else can say, yeah, but this is my reason too. And I go, it's a pretty good reason too. Like, like most topics these days, everybody's just some people are very heated on either side of every battle. But like, I don't think it's out of the question to ask kids to wear a mask just for a few days coming back from vacation. Like, so what? Who cares? People get so mad. Jack Flaherty generation now. That's the kind of anger that gives you heart attacks. You know what I mean? Like, I can't afford to harden up an artery over something like that. It's so nuts. The shooting thing. That might have been the one big positive to the whole. Zach Plasak, statistic parallel, 219 of 300. The one huge positive to the pandemic was it stopped these shootings for a while. For Rich. Yeah, I never heard that, Chris. That's school was known for its problems with gangs, but there were no gangs. There was a thing recently here where there were a bunch of guns like delivered to a school in Chester High School. I think it was Chester High School. Javi Baez also. Somebody was just telling me about this. Like, it was just in the last week or two, where like a crate of guns was like delivered to the school. I don't know. Like, what? Rich has been having good breaks all week, man. And the funny thing is, Rich has asked me to hold, because Rich is on vacation. He's asked me to hold his cards all week, and they're like piling up around my ears at this point. It's like nuts. Like every break he's doing well on. Contreras rookie rainbow. And Verlander. See, school starts a lot later around here too, in the Mid-Atlantic, especially in the Philadelphia area. The kids don't go back to school till after Labor Day. Jose Ramirez home run challenge, and so a lot of these issues are kind of taken care of in other parts of the country before we have to deal with them here. You know. You keep an eye on them for him, sure. I am cool with that, Chris. I actually just got a thing from eBay about his late shipping. I'm going to get a late shipping violation because Rich is on vacation. eBay is so ridiculous. So I get an email from them the other day that says I'm losing my top seller status. I'm like, whoa, wait a second. What are you talking about? I was like, there's absolutely no reason I would lose my top seller status. I'm like in the top 100th percentile of sellers with everything. Like, I don't have returns. I don't have this. I don't have that. So then I start reading it closer, and it says I'm losing it worldwide, not in the U.S. Joe Morgan, Cincinnati. And I'm thinking to myself, like, wait a second. So in the U.S., I'm still a top seller, but in the world, I'm only above average because I didn't have enough sales in the last year overseas. And I think you need to have 100, and I had like 93 or something like that. And I was just like, Wow, not a single return, not a single complaint, not a single. But why would you do that? Some of the rules are so strange. School starts tomorrow. Baltimore to 2022 for Tim. Yeah, my kid doesn't start till like the 6th or 8th or something like that. Whereas my nephew started like on the 3rd of August or something like that. Like my nephew started literally like 5 weeks before my son does. But they also get out early too. You know, like my son doesn't get done school. Well, this year he's a senior, so he'll get done earlier. But usually they don't get done till like the 3rd week of June, 2nd or 3rd week of June. Most kids have been out for weeks at that point. Jeets, 35th. You working tonight, Chris? Aaron Judge, Sweet Shades. Johnny, what's up, buddy? AJ Alexi Rainbow. Willie Adamas, 35th. Yeah, you've been having any excitement on the overnights? Any craziness? And man, we haven't seen one of these in a little while. Barry Larkin, Silver Slugger. I'd love to see one of these autographed. You know, I have to get a sleeve afterwards. For Cincinnati is Eric. Here, buddy. Oh yeah, you got called up. When did you get called up today? I didn't even look at. I was out with my son doing that show. I didn't even look at MILP or anything today. What's the date? Is this just considered a September call up, John? Yeah, it's the 28th of August. It must be, right? No, nothing exciting. That's good. You don't need anything too crazy. There's a Jordan to 2022 for Houston. For Brandon. Where did there one? The old September call-up time. Oh, I don't think Rich is here, but for those of you who were here at the break last night, there's Dominic Brown, the guy I was talking about. I found this today. I didn't realize that. It's a Dominic Brown rookie. This is the guy I was talking about last night who had like one of the best Junes in the history of baseball and then never did anything again. He was the number one prospect for like 2 years, and I couldn't think of his name. Rich told me last night, and started today. 4-2 RBIs. No, he isn't. September call up place. Oh, an injured player. Oh, okay. Yeah. Well, the only reason I ask is because it always has to do with their rookie and prospect thing. You know what I mean? Like I forget. I don't even know. They might have changed the rules again. They always change the rules around that. What is it? 125 at bats or however many games. But if you're a September call up, it automatically doesn't get credited, or I don't know, some nonsense. O'Neal Cruz generation now rookie. Well, good for him, man. Hopefully he gets some good playing time. And Shohei. All right, last regular pack. And we'll do some silver packs, see if we're going to get anything. O'Neal Cruz rookie. Man, we got a lot of O'Neal Cruz rookies. Harper, 35th. All right. Silver pack time. Come on, baby. One time. Give us one autograph, man. One time. It'll be next week when I do one box for like a mixer that we'll get an auto out of one. That's the way it usually works. All right. Let's see. Here we go. Brooks Robinson, Eloy, Cronenworth, and O'Neal. Ooh, orange. Got some orange back there. Hold on, everyone. Hold on to your hats. All right, Musial, Barrios, Nola, and Matt Brash, a rookie. Orange, number 20 of 25 for Seattle. For Ryan. And we got Chronicles coming up next. We'll do a quick hit recap after this and go off for a few minutes while we set up for Chronicles. All right, Verling, Otani, Castellanos, and Heasley. All right, last pack. Urias, Peralta, Jackson, and Jared Kelenic. Man, we are just cursed on autos and silver packs this year. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is, man. All righty. I want to thank everyone for joining us this evening. As always, I couldn't do this without you guys, and I truly, truly do appreciate it. We do have Chronicles coming up, but if you're not in that one, please, please, please stay safe, stay healthy. We'll be back later in the week. We're not doing Tuesday this week. We have the past few weeks, but we're doing Thursday, Saturday, Sunday. We'll get back to Tuesday next week. So if you'd like to join us, we got all kinds of fun stuff coming up. Like I said earlier, we're doing some NASCAR, we're doing some football, we're doing some, well, baseball, of course, along with a bunch of other stuff. So, and of course, there's always the website. You can always go visit the website. We fill some over there, we break it. chefsportscards.com. We got spots filling over there, so please, by all means, go check it out. These guys, let's put this guy here. These guys here. All right, hit recap for 2022 Top Series 2/3 Hobby Case Break number 31. All right, so O'Neal Cruz, 35th rookie. We had short prints of Casey Mize, Tony Gwynn. Oh, well, we had another one. Hold on. And Dylan Carlson. They were out of order. So 3 short prints. Nice. That Dylan Carlson one's nice. Zach Polisak to 300. And we did have a home field advantage for Jose Ramirez. Other numbered stuff to 2022. Colton Welker, Urquidy, Allen, the Orioles, Alvarez, and Ridings. Jacob deGrom, significant statistics to 299. Kenley Jansen to 299. Roberto Perez to 299. Matt Carpenter to 71. Adolis Garcia to 499. And Matt Brash to 25. And let's see. Home Run Challenge cards: Ramirez, Soto, Haniger, and Devers. And then all relics tonight. We had the Barry Larkin Silver Slugger, Salvi, Buster Posey, and Jared Kelenic or depending on how you say it. All right, guys. Again, thank you so much for joining me. I appreciate it. Please hit that like and subscribe on your way out the door. Go check out the website, and I will talk to you soon. Take care. Bye-bye.